I still smell the ink from the forged signature. It isn't the chemical bite of printer toner, it's the ghost of Sage's vanilla fig body mist clinging to the page like a confession she never meant to leave. The paper sits in a sealed evidence bag on my kitchen counter, glowing under the single bulb I never bothered to replace. Every night at 3:07 a.m. the ceiling fan clicks once, twice, 3 times, and the scent crawls up my throat until I taste metal. My own name, Lila Marie Moreau, scrawled by my sister's left hand while she doom-scrolled with her right, bled $90,000 across my future like Merlot on a christening gown. If you have ever pressed your cheek to the same pillow that once soaked up a child's fevered tears only to discover that child grew up and sold the pillow for fentanyl money, keep your thumb on the screen. Because tonight I am peeling my sternum open with a letter opener and letting you count every rib our family swore were piano keys. Quiet is not the absence of noise. Quiet is a cathedral built inside a gunshot. Inside mine, the exact decibel of Mom's delighted gasp every time Sage crossed a threshold, the weight of Dad's palm on my shoulder the day Georgetown's acceptance letter arrived, proud for 2.4 seconds before pivoting back to Sage's lacrosse playoffs. The copper tang of the paperclip I chewed through during my first OCC audit when I realized I could dismantle a cartel's ledger before the coffee went cold. I wore beige cardigans the way Navy SEALs wear ghillie suits, not for warmth, for vanishing. My Alexandria apartment smelled of microwave miso, ozone from government printers, and the faint mildew of succulents named after fraud statutes, Sarbanes, Oxley, Dodd, Frank, because plants don't demand applause when they push out a new leaf. 14 days before the world caught fire, I sat in cubicle 412, be beneath lights the color of curdled milk. My left monitor displayed a SR from a Duluth credit union laundering bear. Hunting profits, my right monitor slept. My personal phone vibrated under a fortress of color-coded post-its. The banner was arterial red, hard inquiry, Meridian Crest Bank. I had never heard of Meridian Crest. I had heard the feeling, though, ice water threading between my shoulder blades the same way it did the first time I testified against a cartel accountant who sobbed harder than the widows he bankrupted. I tapped the banner. Applicant, Lila Marie Moreau. Amount, $90,000. Signature, a looping caricature that would embarrass a drunk toddler. The room tunneled to a pinhole. Keyboards around me clacked out the heartbeat of federal compliance, while my own pulse flatlined into something colder, cleaner, surgical. Investigator Moreau clocked in. I walked the 37 steps to the aquarium, soundproof conference room, glass walls, no mercy. Locked the door. Dialed Sage. She answered on ring 4, city traffic roaring behind her like applause. Lila, I'm literally walking into a Series B pitch. Did you open a loan in my name? Silence thick enough to chew. Then the laugh she weaponized on venture capitalists and doormen alike, bright, bulletproof. Your job has made you paranoid. Lee, gotta fly, kisses. Click. The aquarium's silence rushed back like floodwater. I stared at the dead screen until my reflection looked like a stranger wearing my face. Gentle Lila melted off my cheekbones the way dollar store Halloween wax slides down a candle. What remained were cheekbones sharp enough to slice paper trails. That night I built a fortress inside the agency's dark web. Case file Moreau S-self. Screenshot. Timestamp. Metadata scrub. In the notes field I typed one sentence in Courier 12-point, the font of indictments. She thinks I will fold like I folded her cashmere sweaters for 18 years. She is about to learn what folding 1,000 paper cranes teaches you about cutting throats with origami edges. 91 days of silence followed. I paid the minimums on a debt that wasn't mine just to keep the trail warm and glowing. Every payment alert was a breadcrumb leading straight to Sage's new penthouse on the 14th floor of the Apex, floor-to-ceiling windows that turned sunsets into sponsored content. I traced the wire, 85,000 down, same day the loan cleared. I screenshotted her stories, champagne flutes clinking against the skyline, caption, adulting level, rooftop rose with my angels. The angels were my 820 credit score and 7 other people's dreams. I slept 4 hours a night on the futon in my office, fueled by vending machine espresso and the low electric hum of vengeance dressed in regulation blue. Mom summoned me to Friday dinner with the same tone she once used to announce Sage's engagement to a man who turned out to be married to his hedge fund. Sage has news, darling. Wear something pretty. Translation: prepare the applause and the spare kidney. I wore the beige cardigan like Kevlar and slipped my phone into the hidden pocket zone inside my skirt. Virginia, one-party consent. God bless the Commonwealth. The dining room smelled of rosemary lamb, desperation, and the diptyque candle Mom lit only when company mattered. Dad's golf trophies glinted under the chandelier like tiny prisons. Sage held court beside the bay window, cheeks already wine-flushed, gesturing with a glass that cost more than my first car. She tapped the crystal with a fork. The ring was a starting pistol. Funny story, she sang, eyes locking on mine the way a sniper locks on a heartbeat. I borrowed Lila's credit. $90K, penthouse keys, baby. Dad's fork froze halfway to his mouth. Mom's smile calcified mid-waddle. I sipped ice water and listened to the cubes clink like miniature handcuffs. Sage leaned forward, elbows on the Irish linen. You're welcome, sis. I'm building your score. I set the glass down so gently the table didn't feel it. Bank fraud carries 30 years, Sage. Wire fraud stacks. Consecutive. Shall I recite the sentencing guidelines, or should we pass the peas first? Her smirk flickered like a bulb about to blow. Dad cleared his throat the way he did when the country club raised dues. Now, Lila, she's just ambitious. Sage cut him off, voice syrupy with threat. You'd never snitch. Family first, right? Imagine explaining to your little government friends why your sister needed a boost. I smiled the way great white sharks smile in slow-motion documentaries. Already did. Checkmate, recorded in 192 kbps. Monday, 8:32 a.m., Deputy Director Harlan's office smelled of lemon polish and consequences. She slid my 3-inch binder across mahogany that had seen 3 administrations. 7 victims, Lila. Not just you. She flipped to tab 4. Your parents' retirement. Mrs. Lang from Mom's book club. The barista who gave Sage free oat milk lattes. Total fraud for $110,000. The floor dropped out from under me, but I didn't fall. I simply relocated to a colder planet. Mom and Dad had praised Sage while she pickpocketed their cruise fund for a Birkin. Harlan closed the binder with a sound like a coffin lid. FBI takes it at noon. You're recused. Recused meant untouchable. Recused meant the machine would grind without my fingerprints, which was merciful because my hands were shaking for the first time in 91 days. 6 weeks later, Federal Courtroom 12B smelled of bleach and broken futures. Sage wore prison blues 2 sizes too big. Her hair had lost its salon shine and hung like gilt. The prosecutor cued Exhibit 14. My voice filled the hush, calm, surgical. Then Sage's, drunk on hubris, laughing, you should thank me. The jury aged 10 years in 4 hours. Guilty. All 15 counts. 9 years in Alderson. For $110,000 in restitution. Lifetime ban from anything with a ledger. As marshals cuffed her, Sage finally looked at me, mouth forming the childhood nickname only she was allowed. Lily, fix this. I met her eyes across the varnish and venom and said the first honest sentence we'd shared in 32 years. Nothing. 2 months later, I lead the National Identity Theft Task Force from a corner office where the windows actually open. My old cubicle is now a storage closet for toner cartridges. Mom texts apology emojis in the group chat she renamed Moro Mending. Dad mailed a 3-page letter in shaking handwriting that ends, "We were blind." I read it once, folded it into a paper crane, and filed it under closed. Tonight I eat pad thai from the carton, legs folded on a balcony that overlooks the same Potomac Sage once posed against for sponsorships. The city lights flicker like case numbers waiting to be solved. My phone buzzes, another fraud alert, this one in Ohio. I thumb the banner, already cataloging statutes in my head. The quiet 1-1. Not with screaming. Not with tears. With timestamps, evidence chains, and the kind of patience that outlives diamonds and sisters both. So tell me, Comment below. Pin your truth to the screen. If the girl who braided your hair on the first day of kindergarten later sold your braids for crypto, would you unlock the vault and let her back in? Or would you change the combination and teach the world what quiet can do when it finally speaks? I'm still listening. The vault is open. Step inside. Stay as long as you need. The fan keeps clicking, but the scent is fading. And for the first time in 32 years, I can breathe.